is one of the basic human rights that any citizen in any nation must enjoy, must actually use in order to live their life to the fullest. It is part of the human rights which also guarantee the right to education. As we have the right to education, we have the right to freedom of speech and expression. We also have the right to electricity. We have the right to potable drinking water. We have the right to clean cities. We have the right to actually security. We have a right to actually enjoy the good development, infrastructural development of our community. We have a right, not just freedom after speech. We also have the right to ask questions that beg for answers. Answers that should come with tangible solution that can be touched, that can be seen, that can be felt, that can actually governate and actually push the common man to a position where they will enjoy the dividend of democracy. For more than 60 years after Cameroon regained its independence and actually reunification, the issue about adequate supply of power still remain a mystery that many are asking. How long will it take for this mystery to be resolved? The person who is to resolve this mystery of adequate supply of electricity for more than 60 years is the person walking on foot from America to Cameroon? Or do we need Angel Michael and Angel Gabriel to come now to say that, my children, electricity you should have? It is appointed unto man, government shall be upon each shoulder. And that is why we go on every 7 years to elect a president that will actually cater for the affairs of the nation. And that is why we go to the pool every 5 years to elect mayors and councillors, and to also elect parliamentarians who vote laws that will move the common man to a position of unfair to fairness, where no one is above the law and no one is below the law. For more than 60 years after this independence was celebrated, some communities in Cameroon have not known and have not seen a kilowatt of electricity since the day God called Abraham. In fact, electricity now is a scarce commodity, and we pride ourselves as the continent. The continent, as many will say, it should be a nation that enjoys from all its largesse. But when we look at what we face now, garbage is taking over our cities, and the way in which it is even being managed is a major cause for concern. Electricity that many would have thought will even help to boost the economy is epileptic for more than 60 years. Year in, year out, the people complain and complain. This time, it has now become a new normal that for people to have electricity, they must move to the streets. It is sad to see that streets are blocked because those who ought to use the roads are not part of the process. Imagine leaving Cuba to move to Douala. Your convoy is stopped because they said a road is blocked somewhere because the people have not had electricity for more than 2 years. Imagine if there is an emergency situation of someone who needs to move to Douala for a referral hospital, or someone who is having a cardiac arrest that needs to be moved to a local hospital within that area. The roads are blocked. The person cannot go simply because the rights of those people who block the road have been violated. As a result, other rights are violated. How did we get to this position? Is the word that common man is asking for. Many would have thought that the solution was far-fetched. It would take days and months for this issue to be resolved. The sad reality, when Mutengene took to the street, within 24 hours, transformers were brought. Moliko, Moya, Bomaka, and Boya. Some areas took to the street. Within 24 hours, more than 24 transformers were brought. The question is, how did it take a very short period of time to address a 2 years problem? A 2 years problem. a very short period of time to address a 2 years problem? Does it mean that the solution was in somebody's office and the person said, let them be there, let them be there? Or does it mean that when the people actually went to the street, an angel of the Lord that declared unto Mary, and she conceived by the Holy Spirit, also declared, transformer appeared within 24 hours? Or is it an issue of poor maintenance or poor governance? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis. You're welcome, and if you are just joining us or watching House of Commons, we apologize for the late start because of technical issues, and the technical issues that actually cumulated to what we are starting now and made us to start this late. In the studio, we are joined by a cream of panelists who are here to dissect the issue. We have Engineer Dixon, who is here with us. Engineer, happy Sunday. Before coming to you, let us also move to Mr. Ignatius Tambem. Mr. Ignatius, happy Sunday, and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday to my co-panelists, and Happy New Year in advance. We are once more, I'm happy to be part of this debate today, and we know that the electricity issue is something that concerns all of us, and that there is no country that will develop without supply of energy. I know that if we are here because we are proud to be Cameroonians, and the issues that concern our country, it's our duty to share ideas, because sometimes those who are in certain positions, in certain offices, to know, to hear is human. You will not know everything. Sometimes they also get ideas from the people on the street, in beer parlors, in taxis, in debates, just as we are going to share ideas today. The thing that should be important is if they should be attentive, if they take the ideas that are contributed into consideration, then we'll always have solutions. The only thing that is bad is that if they don't consider what people propose, that is where I don't see a solution to research the crisis. Once more, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We are also joined by Emmanuel, who has also been here. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Javis. Good afternoon to all the panelists and dear listeners of my media prime. It's been a while, but I'm happy to be back for us to continue deliberating. Happy Sunday to my phone of Noni, who is listening to me and watching me live in Bamenda, and to my grandmother, who is there. She's happy to see me on TV today. Cameroon is gradually going, and like they say, change is permanent, and this is 2025 ending already, and Cameroon is changing gradually. People should not be discouraged. We should keep hoping and striving for the best, as we are going to be declaring and discussing the issues at hand today. Thank you.
In the studio, we are joined by also Engineer Dixon, who is here with us, who masters some of the intricacies from his profession that we will be looking at as far as the electricity issue is concerned. We shall also be looking at the issue about disposal, the discriminate disposal of garbage within our city, which we have been asking the question that what need to be done that has not been done. But we look at our cities, our towns a lot. We shall have that discussion in a moment ahead. But first, let us welcome Engineer Dixon. Happy Sunday, and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday to you, Mr. Javis. Happy Sunday to our televiewers, and courage to the Lions who will be hitting the pitch today. I think today evening we will be hitting the pitch against Ivory Coast. We all are excited for that to that moment. No, it's Nigerian today, right?
Yeah, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, not Cameroon. Yeah, we are waiting for that moment. It's been very exciting with the Nations Cup. And that aside, I think Mr. Javis, is a rare privilege again for us and my fellow co-panelists to sit and discuss pertinent issues that are plaguing our nation. If we don't love this nation, we will not be here. I think after our session of last Sunday, some major movements were made from the Ministry of Territorial Administration as well as the community of Limbe towards waste management. I think it's very encouraging. At least it makes us believe when we speak, our administrators listen. We are not just criticizing to destroy, but we hope that together we can make Cameroon a better place, slowly but surely. We have confidence in the leadership of the nation, but we will not stop talking to power. Thank you, Mr. Javis.
Also in the studio, we are joined by Nick Anu, who is here with us. Happy Sunday, Nick, and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Javis. Thanks for having me. It's been a while, and we are back again to talk about pertinent issues, especially the issue of energy. The issue of energy is actually my domain because I work there on a daily basis. So as time goes by, we'll be dissecting into the many energy crises that we are facing in our country today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These are the gentlemen with whom we are going to discuss on today's edition of our program. Ignatius, I begin with you. Let us look at the issue. First, let me actually give a breaking news that occurred today in the southwest region of Cameroon, where there was an explosion that occurred in Moliko, to be more precise, at a locality called Sosoliso. What actually happened was that a vehicle transporting tomato crashed into a nearby electricity pole. As a result, one of the cables carrying electricity sparked and caught a vehicle transporting illicit fuel known as fungi. When it caught that vehicle, it resulted to the explosion. No life so far has been lost. No life has been lost so far, but properties worth millions were damaged because buildings caught fire, including building materials, shops, and actually caught fire. In the nearest future, on my Media Prime Newscast, you will have the full detail as to what occurred. This is adding to the series of issues that Cameroon has faced within 2025. We had an explosion in Likumba that claims life, which some are yet to be identified. And we also had explosion today in Boya as a result of fuel, because this issue is because he caught an illicit fuel vehicle and exploded at Sosoliso. Thank God, no life was lost, but unfortunately, properties worth millions of franc CFA were damaged. The question is, how are those people going to be compensated? That is $1 million question. Ignatius, let us move to the issue of electricity. When you watch the series of protests, what was going through your mind?
It wasn't strange to me because all of us will suffer from the same situation. You see, those who go to the streets are those who they are pushed to the wall. They are reached at a level which they cannot more support it. I quite remember a woman who transferred congelated products from a quarter in Douala and transferred to a family member in another quarter because there was a power blackout. The same where she transferred those things, there was power. Finally, those things got bad and they were looking for a way to bury pork. So when I saw this protest, I know it's our concern, all of us. Those people are just telling what Cameroonians are going through. It's not only their situation. But when I begin to imagine about it, I see that this situation is mostly the causes of it. It's human, not natural. The cause of all this power blackout is not natural, because normally Cameroon is really endowed with the natural resources that, especially water, when it concerns generating electricity. We are even blessed. I think Cameroon has dams, even dams that are like supporting dams that are not having generators, that are like supporting dams that in the periods of shortage, insufficient water, they open those dams, like when you see like the Birmingham Dam in the Noon division and others that we know. We mean that our problem here is not really natural, it's human. There are another part that one thing that I also thought of is that when you notice power cut off here, especially here in Douala, you realize that the highest time that energy is used is during the day. The highest time, because that is when companies are on, many industries are functioning. But you notice that here, the epileptic power cut on is mostly in the night. Which means that is like there is somebody who is playing on that. There's somebody who is playing.
Have used for 2 hours.
Let me send it to this other quarter here. It's like, it's really, that's what I'm saying, that it's mostly human. And then we have to think it far. The responsibility to remedy this situation should start also from ourselves, from household Cameroon, the citizens themselves. We have to understand that the services need, we pay for the services of those supplying energy for us. Sometimes, I am saying this one because sometimes you will always hear, there was a time I brought an information that sometimes government, some offices are owing bills to the electricity company. We mean that that's another thing, that's a financial part. I realized a quarter here in Douala where if you are in that quarter, if you go to Enyo, I don't know whether it is the same situation today. If you go to Enyo and register a meter from there, you risk making 2 years without having electricity because there is somebody in that quarter who has monopolized the quarter. They take electricity away from him, who seems to be an agent in the electricity company. If you want to disrespect him and you bypass him and go and register there, that is how they will be giving you promises until you will come to your right senses that I offended somebody. You will come back ignorantly. You will come back to him and negotiate with him, even though you are going to pay less, but you have to respect him. So you see, these are some of the things that make the company not to function well, because it seemed like this trouble has started, especially when this company was privatized. Because normally, if you want to compare in the past, when this company was not privatized, it's like things were even better. Because now that when you privatize a company, it's a business person who has taken the company to run and have profit. And then now if the person is not realizing the profit, it becomes a problem. Sometimes this power epileptic is voluntary, because sometimes when they complain and the complaints are not taken into consideration, maybe they also play a game to make you pain so that you understand that what they are saying is really serious. You want to go here, some offices, government offices, they will put things like this AC. When they are returning from their offices, they leave bulbs on, they will leave, even AC will pass the whole night. Why they are using like that, why you go to, there are villages, just like in the report that Javis said from there are villages that have never yet seen a cable. They need it, and then you are wasting it like that. There are quarters in the same town where you are using, there are people who are unable to have electricity supply. So these are some of the factors that we should begin to imagine, that why we are complaining, we should take certain things into consideration, also to help those who are to solve the problem. Okay. Yes, and the government is not also left aside. You know, when you are given a certain responsibility, you have been appointed to work. It doesn't mean the citizens to bypass you and talk direct to the company that supply energy. Somebody somewhere is not doing the right thing at the right time.
Since the camera is on, Nick, what's the problem?
I think the problem is a kind of multiple facet problem, primarily on the part of the government. You know that energy politics in every nation is something that is taken seriously, and in every serious country, you don't give the management of energy to any kind, any Jack and J. You have to give management of energy in your country to experts, those who are well grounded in that sector. But it seems in Cameroon that the energy sector is managed by politicians who don't know anything generally, technically about the energy management and production. Because for foreign investors to invest in your country, first of all, check your energy supply.
The heavier the energy, yes, the more you can you have heavy.
Yes, because some industry will not come here to produce if they see that your energy sector is a problem. They will not waste bringing their machines here and then end up using generators to produce, and then the cost of production goes high. So you see that it plays a multiple effect on the price of whatever is produced. You will notice that, like this company that produces iron had to go to Sonatrach to negotiate their direct supply from Sonatrach without passing through Enyo, because they realized that passing through Enyo INEO will cut light at during the day when they're producing, their machines are on. So they had to negotiate that. They give them direct line from a the company that is in charge of production.
Yeah, because so there is a company in charge of production, and there's a company in charge of
transport. Transportation.
Distribution.
Yeah. In the days of Soner, it was just a single company. But as time went by, I don't know why the government decided to split the production, distribution, and so I don't know why they had to split all of this. You will see that, for example, I blame the government because let's take, for example, some dams that have been constructed. Take, for example, the Mekim Dam were earmarked in 2010. The project was launched in 2010 in Jah and Lobo. Jah and Lobo division is the division of the head of state. That's where the division where Mvomeka is found. In his own division, this dam was earmarked to produce 15 megawatt of electricity. It was earmarked to cover that region, and then the one of the Mbam region in division, Bamekim, in the central region. This project...
You have the Longpanga.
Yeah, I'm talking example, a particular example of a structural failure. This project took up to 2023. That was the project was partially handed over without even being completed. It ran for just about some months, and then the project failed. And the government earmarked initially 25 billion to construct this dam. And at the end of 2023, with all the constraints and the rest, the government had to still go in for 10 billion loan to add to the initial cost, making it 35 billion to construct a dam there. And then at 2024, that was last year, it was announced that the pumps got drowned. The pumps that were pumping supplying that got drowned, and the prime minister, they had to declare the functionality of that dam. Up to now, that dam is not functional. The dam is not functional up to now. I mean, the government has invested 35 billion, and the government initially spent 25%. The government had 25% from that investment. The remaining 75% borrowed from a Chinese bank. So we don't know the politics that were involved, how the engineers who constructed that dam were choosing, and we don't know that's why all of this thing is politics. And I take the second example, the Naschiga Dam. In government invested 800 billion francs CFA, construct Naschiga Dam, and the government is having 15% on it. The rest are international partners having the remaining 85%. And after constructing the dam, before they realized that they are supposed to transport electricity. I don't know those who conceived the project, meaning that you construct a dam, and then at the end of the day you realize that you don't have the means to transport the electricity from the dam and distribute. The first project was made to transport the electricity from that dam to Yaoundé. It ended there, and most of those electricities is needed, but in this Douala and other regions, not Yaoundé. So the government there was an agreement with INEO that INEO will be paying the company. There's a company in charge of the Naschiga Dam 10 billion francs every month, whether you are using the electricity or not. And up to now, INEO is still paying. And at one point in time, INEO was unable to pay that money. And the Minister of Finance had to go into a loan agreement of 100 billion to bail out INEO. And up to now, meaning that we are spending billions, 10 billion every month to pay for electricity, because that was the agreement they had. Electricity that is not being used. And there's no magic that you can tell Cameroonians that is the devil that is doing that. It's human beings, Cameroonians, that are in charge. The politics that is in charge of that. All of this thing is blame. Imagine 420 megawatt of electricity. If it was injected into the national grid, all of these power shortages we're having on a daily basis would not have been experiencing that. And all of this, you can only go to blame the government. If you go into even the percentages, you see that just about 75% of Cameroon is covered by electricity, meaning that we still have a whooping of 25% of the population that is not still connected to electricity. The worst is even in the rural areas. Rural areas coverage is just between 20 and 25%. I mean, this is where the majority of the population lives, and they need this electricity on a daily basis to do their economic activity. Many people don't take the impact of the electricity on a daily basis. Take, for example, somebody who patches tires. When you see slide during the day, you hamper these people. Somebody who's having a tailoring workshop. Somebody who sells ice cream along the roadside. All of these more economic activity that people do, when you deprive them of energy, you tend to increase their costs, because many of them cannot afford to buy solar energy. That is my domain that I'm into, and I know what it means. Many of them cannot afford to buy generators to be putting petrol there every day, and it affects. You see that you are working, you have an activity, economic activity, and you are working, and at the end of the day, all your money is going on energy. And energy that the government is supposed to have provided if they had a good management system and a good political way to do that. So at the end of the day, we cannot blame the devil, who blame but the politicians that are in charge, and we are calling that the power that be. I think this year 2025 they develop a 2030 vision to invest I think $1.2 billion in electricity sector. We hope they will do their best to further solve the issues that are run, the dams that have malfunctioned, and then to see that the electricity that is further produced, like the Nachiga Dam, they transport that electricity to the national grid to solve the immediate problems first before projecting in the future. Thank you.
Engineer Dixon.
Yes.
Now, in just 48 hours, 48 hours, the people protested. More than 20 transformers were brought. For a problem that has been there for 2 years for some communities like Imunya, in others 9 months, in others 6 months. I don't know, did Angel Michael provide, just made those transformers to be provided?
Yeah, Mr. Javis, to the best of my knowledge, probably it's because I'm not in the position of power. I believe that when you seek office, is because you have a kind heart and you want to render service to humanity. But what we are observing now is contrary. I believe we have people in power who are there just to make sure that they get as much benefit as they can get from every little process that passes on their table. You don't need to be a magician to understand that these transformers were already in the country and in the custody of the power company here in Douala. But it needed the people of Boya in some neighborhoods in Fako to go on the streets for them to receive what they actually deserve, which is power, which is their basic human right to have power, because power is what they need to run the economy. And the time frame with which that response went just tells me that two things: either is pure wickedness or feedback to top management is being interrupted somewhere. Either way, somebody should be sanctioned. Either way, somebody should be sanctioned. But it goes at times like this, we don't hear any sanction, nobody is held accountable, nobody is held responsible. It creates more confusion in the mind of the people, because at one moment it's as though there is no accountability in whatever we are doing, especially those in public offices. Mr. Javis, I believe we have handled this topic of energy many times. This is not the first time we are talking about energy. When Douala had series of power cuts, we came to the same platform and cried to the government that we need stabilization of power cuts. Students are going late to school. They are being punished in school. They can't do their assignments. A lot of things are happening, and I'm happy with the response that Mr. Nick gave on how the little things in our economy is being driven today by power, especially economy like that in Douala. To put air in the tire of a vehicle, you need power. To sew dresses, you need power. He rightfully said it like somebody in the sector, because I know he is a solar renewable energy technician, a big engineer for that matter. This boils down to leadership. The problem, all this problem we're talking about, Mr. Javis, boils down to leadership. We don't want to learn from what other countries are doing, what is working and what is not working. When we look at the background of the Chinese leadership, what I'm telling you now, go and verify. The top leaders from the chairman Xi Jinping himself. Many people don't know Xi Jinping is a chemical engineer. Many people don't know that. The top management of Chinese economy, they are engineers. And the trajectory with which the Chinese economy took, tells you the people who are sitting behind the decision making. These are practical people. These are not people, engineers are not people who come and see black and say white. No. These are practical people. They have an agenda to take over the world. And they are taking over the world. America is aback. Not only that, if you come now to Singapore, look at the economy of Singapore. Those who are the helm of affairs of Singapore, you will see engineers, public administrators, and economists. These are the people who are the helm. Go and verify the Singaporean economy and come back to me.
Even when Trump came up, you saw the difference
Trump
in America.
is a businessman. America has taken a different trajectory.
Tariffs, you see, tariffs.
Things are going up. He is ready for the economy world because he understands it.
Tariff.
Now, when you come to most African countries, who are those at the helm of affairs? Political scientists, lawyers.
John Pombe Magufuli in Tanzania was a chemist, and that's why I saw Tanzania was rapidly developing.
Exactly. So I am making a very key point here. I'm not saying those who read political science cannot handle a nation. They are very good. They are good at policy making. They are very good at policy making, the political scientists and lawyers. They are good at policies, but when it comes to implementation, they have a big limitation.
To walk the walk.
So once you have done the policy, you have to give way for technocrats to come and study that policy and bring out strategies. If you are not ready to work with them close hand in hand, because what is happening in African countries is that once these policies are there, you don't give room for technocrats to come in and then help you interpreting the policy. Policy is like a vision, it's a goal. As a politician, you can say, I want Cameroon to be electrified by 2035. That's a goal, it's a wish. Who is that person that will break it down to realistic steps that can be implemented as a technocrat? But when you sit in office and make some of these policies and you don't bring in technocrats to carry you along the way for the implementation and realization, we find ourselves where we find ourselves. We'll keep complaining over basic things all the time. Mr. Javis, by 2035, it's already projected that Cameroon will be needing 7,000 to 8,000 megawatts of electricity. And when we say by 2035, we are looking at, let me say 9 years, because 2025 is finished. We are already in 2026. So we are looking at 9 years down the lane. All the projected industrialization we are anticipating will come if we take the electricity sector seriously. And the investment that Cameroon needs to put in to get this sector to its feet by 2035 is $10 billion US. If they are investing how many billion? Is that 1.2 billion. It means we are left dollars. We are left with how many billion dollars? We are left with $8 billion. I'm saying this because we need to take it serious. So for us to realize this dream by 2035, it means every year Cameroon should be spending how many billion dollars? At least $1 billion US every year should go to electricity. This is the reality we are faced with. This is the reality. Without such an investment, we can't meet up with the population need by 2035. And I'm using this to call the administration to sit up. Else we'll find ourselves, because the population growth in Cameroon is on a geometric scale. I don't know if sometimes they visit the airport and see the amount of Cameroonians that are leaving this country and the amount that is still there. And they are still having all the economic pressure they are having. Meaning if people were not leaving, it would have been disastrous. If we don't sit up, we'll always be behind. It's high time technocrats start coming up. It's high time technocrats start coming up. There's no way out if you can't work with technocrats. I think I've made my point, Mr. Javis. I'll come back.
Yeah, we'll be coming back to you. Emmanuel, you are from Bamenda. How is the situation of electricity in the northwest region?
It's actually a sympathetic situation. And I talk about Noni that does not have the electricity we are crying about.
Menchum has been for 9 years.
Noni does not have. They said it started like they have planted poles of saying between 2016 to today. We do not have anything, and it keeps me imagining when they talk about the sharing of the national cake. Why are some parts of Cameroon left out? Referring to what happened in Boya a few days ago, my own contribution to this particular topic will be on the aspect of accountability and respect for offices.
Like he said, nobody has been called.
Cameroon has a problem, and that is why we are calling. It is unheard of that people will go for 2 years without electricity, and once the population moves much, 24 hours later or 48 hours later, those machines are being bought, transformers and everything, and are being installed. it is clear. It is clearly, it demonstrates that the things are there, and they don't want.
You cannot
don't want to put it in.
You cannot just quickly say they are there. Maybe
let me please. It's my. In the days of miracles are gone.
You cannot be too sure.
I am saying
the head of state is a spiritual.
The head of state in administration, we don't believe in miracles. It is practical something that is there.
We see our ministers go to church.
Please, Javis, if you are derailing me, if you are derailing me,
Party members.
you are derailing me. What I want to say is this: those things were there. The will to implement them wasn't there, and that is why I call it corridor administration, because transformers are not being produced in Cameroon. And you cannot tell me that within 24 hours, transformers were taken from Europe, from China to Cameroon within 24 hours and shipped to Boya. It is impossible. Please, let us get it. And that's why we are calling on the leadership. The problem of electricity, the problem that was raised, Boya, Motengene, and all have summarized everything. It is not only in Boya, it is not only in Motengene. I have told you that Noni does not have electricity. Since 2016, they told us that poles, I went and saw electrical poles standing, but there is nothing. When you ask, they tell you that it is because of this particular person, this one. You want to enumerate a litany of problems, but the issue at hand is lack of accountability and administrative responsibility. If we want to hold our administrators responsible, accountable, we shall not have all of these things littered around. And that's why we are calling on anybody who stands to lead Cameroon. Be you who, or anybody who is occupying any position, please, if you are not to work for the population, do not go there. If you are not to work for the population, which don't have the reasons to. If you can imagine the economic loss that people in Boya will go for 2 years without. In the engineer here mentioned those activities. The vulcanizers who are there, who are barely struggling in the hard economy we have, and you still deprive them of electricity. What else do you want them to gain? There are people in Noni. You see people with solar. I paid 200 francs to charge a phone. To charge a phone in Noni, 200 francs. Either the person using a generator, or a solar system. How? We
have to install my mother a solar system.
In 2025, we shouldn't be talking about those things, because Cameroon has a lot of things. But we are not neglecting the fact that the electricity company in Cameroon, they have been divided, but we still have problem. And the problem at this level should be the natural problem, where during some time the climatic condition does not permit the water flow, maybe from 2 billion cubic meters.
But should we be talking?
I'm coming.
You continue. You continue.
Yes.
I'm with you.
You
continue. I'm not putting you on the tight spot. Don't be afraid.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Now, we know that there is dry season.
Yes.
We know that there is rainy season. In Europe, they know that they have 4 seasons. Why should we keep complaining every time about dryness of water? That we already know that this problem exists. Can't we look for a solution to resolve it? Like in the West, they know that winter is coming. They take precaution. They know that, okay, this is how we can do to sustain. Why can't we? And we have weather-friendly environment in Cameroon.
We do. Cameroon is African in miniature, and we do have all those things. But now, the problem our leaders is that they are instead there to respond to action, not preventive measures.
So they are reactive instead of proactive.
Exactly, because they are supposed to do preventive measures, things that are going to prevent. If they know that the Mbembele dam that was supposed to produce a number of, let's say, 211 megawatts, it is now producing less than 30. What have they done? Because, and what do they give us an excuse? The water level is rising and falling and cannot meet up with the expected demand. What do we do?
What should the government do? It is because they don't sit, they take, like engineer said, they take the project and they give it to politicians, theoreticians, not practical people, not practitioners who can actually implement what is supposed to be done. And then the issue, and it boils down to the issue of leadership. It is now or never. If we don't implement accountability, responsible leadership in our country, we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere, because even they said the 2035 goals that were set in 2011, 2018, where are we today? It is the national grid, the electricity national grid that was programmed for 2025 has been shifted to 2030. You see that we keep shifting project. We cannot realize a project, and when we don't come back to ask ourselves what did not go well at this particular point. And that is one problem I always dwell on leadership. We are in a parliamentary system where we only vote a budget, but they don't tell us how the other one was being spent on every aspect. Nobody comes up and say, the Ministry of Water and Energy had a budget for 2025, had a budget of maybe 37 billion, for example. This is how it was used. This is where the money, this is the deficit that they have in hand, or this is how it was used, and this is the money generated, and so on and so forth. That is the problem, and that is why you will see that the inhabitants of Boya will complain about transformers, and the next day being brought, meaning that those things were in the office of somebody who thinks that he is above the law, who thinks that he's above everything, and we are calling on the President of the Republic.
Yeah, because just to add to what you are saying,
yes,
people in communities are being extorted. There are moments when they are called upon to contribute to buy transformers. There was a moment in that the people of Moya contributed to buy transformers. How does a company like Sone Enyo exist? Then a transformer is bad. Then the people are the ones who contribute to buy the transformer. I mean, somebody somewhere is taking the money.
They will contribute to buy the transformer, and they'll still continue paying the
light. I mean, somebody somewhere is, like you said.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm calling on the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Bobia. This mandate, please.
You're champion.
Our champion.
You're champion.
I said our champion. There are many of us.
You're champion.
Yes. We are calling on the President of the Republic. Please help the common man. Many of those people you've kept in leadership, many of those people leading us, they are not actually doing what they are supposed to do. Everybody, we are complaining. The President has given directives on everything to be handled. But we, the people who want position, who want leadership quality, who want everything, we are not able to accomplish the vision of the head of state. We are calling on the head of state, please, Papa, wherever you are, listen to us, listen to the youth. We, the youth, we have realized the problem. Some of our leaders, they are not responsible to us. They are not respecting your decisions. They are not respecting your missions, your project. And that's why we are calling that this issue of Cameroon should not have, Cameroon around 7 dams, I think I'm correct, 7, should not have energy problem. If we lack energy, if we have energy problem, where are we going? How are we going to invest? We are inviting investors to come and invest in Cameroon. How are they going to invest without? No. So that's why we are calling on. And we are going to. I'm going to go for
that.
Are
you saying that Nick, you are indirectly removing Nick from the market because you are saying that if this issue is resolved,
Nick is our partner. Nick is a partner to the government, and that's why we're giving him the license to import and do all those things. It is very normal, and that's
why should I benefit more of the
private sector? The Cameroon government encourage the private sector, and we all know that. So that Nick, we are working in partnership with Nick. And please let me finish. And that's why I'm calling on those people. In 2026, there are many of these municipal leaders who have contributed to the failures of the communities in terms of electricity. They have given fake promises, they have given fake projects, and this time around, please, dear Cameroonians, my fellow citizens, we are going to go in. Those leaders who have not been able to deliver, jointly vote them out. No war, no fighting. Jointly do your civic responsibility by voting for somebody. Don't vote for somebody because of a personality. Vote for a project that will deliver.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ignatius, way forward for this.
No, I want to comment on what he just said. He said, I said it, he has repeated the statement that what happened in Boya is just a signal to show that Cameroonians are not satisfied. There is a problem. That intervention of around how many days that transformers were transported to Boya is painkiller. It's just painkiller. You know that when there are situations where they avoid the situation escalating, because it is when the people continue, it is bringing scandals. They are going there to quench that one so that there should be no. It's painkiller because it's not only electricity. What about workers in the private sector? Sometimes we used to see workers on strike who need intervention of the government. You see, what about in Bamenda? It's when the Prime Minister went to Bamenda, he saw him, said the man was moving on rocks. Because the road in Bamenda, the tar was already off many years ago. Then the gravel was off. What cars were moving on the Bamenda town was just a black stone, the rocks, the big that they used to put on the floor, on the clay before other things. It is the same thing. I'm saying that intervention is not a solution. It's painkiller. And I want to add something on what engineer said from here. With Sonatra in Cameroon, I see the place of Sonatra. Because normally the government intervened with Sonatra when there was this problem of materials. Like we still have the problem now, but it's not. I think the solution is just beginning. The government came with Sonatra because they realized that when the company was privatized, you know, the person who buys the company, he's out of, he's businessman, he make by interest. You see rotten electric poles, sometimes you pass somewhere, you see cable. That way, the government start thinking that to remedy the situation, they could create a company that will be in charge of electric cables, poles, and then let a new come in only to install their meters and control the electric. So and I can see the reaction of Sonatra. Up to now, we can see in certain quarters, you see them replacing
those wooden poles with iron or
iron and this
concrete poles.
Concrete. So yes. I was trying to say that this issue. No, it was even Nick who was saying that another company has been created. So according to me, the problem is that if it is only managed where you will not be at this situation where we find ourselves now. Now, when there is a problem, we need a solution.
Yes.
We have a problem of monopoly. I think in Cameroon we don't need only in Nyon. I think because, for example, we have in the north the Lando Dam.
Yes.
If this thing can be given to other zones, can be given to other companies to manage, so that you can use another person to judge this person. When somebody is alone and something is going wrong, you only need to ask questions to him. He will give you a response, and he will try to explain to you, to convince you to be okay with what has happened. But sometimes you use a second person, you compare him to the second person so that he knows that he's wrong. If I ask a question to myself, why should there are dams like the dam that was closed in the southwest?
Okay.
Power camp.
Yeah, power camp. Why should we close plants like that one to suffer from electricity problem today? But in that day, when you ask, they will tell you that the cost, they will reduce, maybe closing it because of the cost. No. If we stop this monopoly, it will be possible for a neighboring zone even to help the other one if in terms of crisis. Just we were saying, because sometimes there are crises that are natural or that are technical. In trying to put things okay, a neighboring zone they can help in another zone. So, but it would take things politically, just like we were saying from the beginning, and then somebody who gains the market, and then you just give him the confidence. Things are going to
okay.
To look.
We're coming back to you briefly. Let's take on this commercial. we're to go on a commercial break, which is supposed to be at 1:30. I don't know if that commercial is ready.
Okay, I will end by saying that, Emmanuel, I think when you have a TV in the house, that has been bad several times, and you go and replace parts. Sometimes you will face the situation of explosion in the house.
Yes.
I'm here to say that in Cameroon, the three arms of the government have proven that this regime is not ready for change.
Okay.
We are only sad
Let's
that
take on this
we are
commercial.
in
We're coming back.
the beginning of another mandate.
In money transfers within more than 15 years via my international partners MoneyGram, Western Union, Riyadh Transfer, World Remit, and others. You can send and receive money all over the world. I assist you in all your mobile money transactions and buying of communication credit. You are always welcome to my 300 branches for payment of your ENEO electricity bills and your university tuition fees, the payment of school fees and competitive examination fees for high schools and college via the Campus Money platform. Because your satisfaction is my priority, I assure you on ever-increasing and improved quality service, payments availability of cash for your transactions. Express Exchange, the #1 in quality service in Cameroon.
You're welcome back from that break. You were just concluding, so I moved to Nick.
Yes, I was saying that if it's not today that we are suffering from this problem, I think we also have we have a problem, and we have leadership. I was saying that the three arms of government in Cameroon have proven that I don't think that there's something we can change. These solutions will end up having the same results. I'm just saying this one because we are just at the beginning of a new mandate.
A new mandate. That is very prosperous.
Yes, that will be prosperous for 7 years. After 43 years, I don't think that one is.
I wasn't born 43 years.
So I'm saying that Cameroonians, while we are proposing solutions, we should not persevere and wait for the 7 years, whether God may react and.
What do you want God to do?
No, so when something is more than human being,
work for the change. It is not about work for the change.
Okay.
Work for the change.
But many will say that this issue about electricity is an opportunity for businessmen like you who are praying that government should not resolve this issue, because a lot of people are saying that maybe the importers of solar panels are part of members of government who are now using it to reduce the process so many people get solar panels.
No, that's not even where the issue is. The renewable energy, like solar energy, is just part of it. It's still part of the energy equation of every nation. The government is encouraging people to go into solar energy because clean energy. The cost of production of the hydro and the rest are expensive, and the government is encouraging people to go into solar energy. Like in my division for now, the BLM division will function mostly on solar energy. The elite sponsor most of the projects, and most homes are covered with solar energy because at the beginning of the crisis, the new line that was going there was cut off because of the crisis, and it's been 9 years today. They don't have access to electricity, and a new contract has just been signed, but I don't think they've started implementation. And it is not bad business for us, because if you look at the energy sector in Cameroon, the renewable energy is still struggling around, not really up to 10%. It was still struggling around 3-4% coverage of renewable energy, and the government is investing also in renewable energy sector. Take for example the solar street lights we have around town. It is still business for us. The government in every budgetary year, in every council, the government, there's a particular percentage of the budget that goes for the street lighting, and it is solar. The only difficult thing is that most of these contracts are mismanaged, meaning that the quality of the material they use are not up to, nothing to write home about. So much so that within few months you see most of those street lights that enough money was invested on it, they are no longer working. meaning that at the end of the day, it's just a wastage in some of those projects. But some are still good. Us who do that for community projects, we'll go in for good quality materials. And for example, the government cannot really like cover every energy needs of the nation, because it's something that's progressive and it's something that needs heavy amount of investment. Except it is a government that this management is really strict. In Cameroon, we have the potential. For example, Cameroon is second in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of hydroelectrical energy potential. Yeah. Meaning that we have all the natural potential. For example, like in Cameroon, almost every division is named to a river, or to a dam, or to something, or to a natural water source. For example, in my place, in the BLM division, we have the river, the name of that division is named after two waterfalls that are just side by side like this. If the potential of that division, if you tap if you construct a dam there, you can be able to produce enough energy that will cover even this whole of Southwest region. I mean, just that river for alone. Meaning that the potential is there. Our problem is at the level of the politics. We are saying that the government should, key sectors of the economy that require technicality should be, the technocrats should be appointed to those, to head those.
Like engineer was saying.
Yes, like engineer was saying, technocrats should be appointed there, not politicians, because politicians don't understand potential. A potential is like an orange. Somebody, like you give somebody an orange, somebody who understands potential, he sees an orange forest in an orange fruit. But somebody who doesn't understand potentials will suck that orange and throw the chaffs and then throw the seeds away. People who understand potential will know that from that orange fruit you can bring out an orchard. You can bring out an orchard, yes, and that's what is killing Cameroon. And I don't know why in every sector of Cameroon they've made it in such a way that it is about the benefit, my percentage. Most projects in Cameroon are failed because the percentage of the minister was in charge was not respected, and they preferred to crash the project, or the percentage of the director was not respected. They prefer to crash the project down. And you can see most of those. Take an example, the project, the toll gates and the rest, and the many projects we can count. Filth. Yeah, they have deliberately failed because somebody percentage was not respected. And you cannot build a nation like this. Building a nation is not magical. It's not spiritual. You cannot pray a nation to development.
Thank you.
It needs technicality
we see a lot of our administrators going to church here.
But Cameroon is a secular state.
All of this thing is just...
church is not developed.
There was a minister that went to the central cathedral in Yaoundé and offered mass intention for the...
But the Bible says pray for your leaders.
All of those things are personal pieties. Whether you go to church and pray and sleep there for 24 hours, that's your personal business. It has nothing to do with developing a nation.
It helps your psychology, as an individual. But to come to development, you need practicality.
Yes, you need practicality. You don't need to. That's why you cannot pray for. To me, praying for leaders is to me just a waste of time. In real democracy, you vote leaders out. You don't pray for them to go out or for them to die. We have been praying for our own in Cameroon. They are instead growing healthier, and they are not dying.
You cannot pray for people
for them to be guided to do the good works.
But we have been praying that they should have wisdom to do the right thing. But it seems the prayer has not been working. It seems they are not receiving the right wisdom that they need to live.
There was no problem with the road network in Yaoundé, which means that we are prayers.
All of these things all of those are just political talk, and it's a pity. It's a pity that we find ourselves in a situation that we are, and we are praying that maybe there may be some divine intervention someday.
See,
because if human beings, you try your best and your best cannot move a nation forward, maybe you can just sit and just give up, like many Cameroonians giving up. Like they just say, maybe let nature maybe not divine. Let nature just take
if
a course.
Continue hoping on
yeah.
on divine nature or whatsoever. We look at competencies. Let's build the competencies.
Thank you very much.
It's not a problem of competence. Cameroon not like a problem of competence. We lack problem of
organization.
Leadership.
And God can give us organization. The
That's just that's where our problem is.
Let's move to Engineer Dixon.
Yes.
Engineer Dixon. We were told by the head of state that in 2024, by December, that some dams will fully go operational. You and I waited anxiously that 2024 December should come. We have the long panga. We have a long panga. Some of us were still in universities. Some were still in secondary schools. We have the Mingili Dam. We have the Nactigal. And we also, how do, with all of the dams at this level, why are we still here?
Mr. Javis, I'm somebody when I want to make my point, I am very critical in thinking and I like hitting it. You know, I've already given the pointer. If I have to break it down again, it's as though I'm repeating myself. But if that be the case, I'll repeat myself without answering that question directly. I attack the position of leadership. And when I say leadership, you know, Cameroonians are so myopic that when we say leadership, they're looking like the head of state.
Exactly.
When we talk of leadership, it's a whole mechanism, how it's being organized.
The whole setup.
The whole setup, from the private to the public. We are having a big problem with leadership. And I will tell you this. One of the signs you know you are dealing with the most incompetent people, first of all, is self-defense. Anybody who is very fast at defending himself is incompetent. Sometimes, when you are dealing with very competent people, they listen more. They will not even stop you when you are talking because they understand fully well that a particular problem can be viewed from different perspectives. So they will listen to you to get your own perspective and then culminate all of that into a single strategy, which will be a win strategy for all. But when you see a scenario, sometimes when somebody is saying something, you find a leader, because of his political power and ambitions, will just say, no, let's shut him up. You know, that is not how we build systems. Strong systems are built when we have competent people who listen carefully and they take what people are saying, because you can't be God. Nobody is an island of knowledge. People who believe they're island of knowledge are incompetent people. So I am of the point that when we start having the right people in the right places, we are going to have a system which this system will be so sustainable, and then that system will drive the economy. For now, we don't have any system. If we keep throwing words as we have been throwing, we come back to the same place. It was 2024 we sat here, I think the 1st of January, yes, if I'm not mistaken, the president spoke on Sunday, 31st, which was the 31st. No, I think Saturday or Friday. The following Sunday, which was the 1st or the 2nd, we're on this platform and we uploaded all of us. It's a good thing. We all love this nation, we want to see it thrive. If the head of state has come and said, okay, by this time we are going to inaugurate, in 2024 we inaugurate the dams. The 2024 came and passed, there was no inauguration.
No commission.
No inauguration, the projects were not commissioned. Commissioning is when the engineers and everybody say, okay, we are done and this is the project, we're handing the project now over to the government for operation. The engineers that will be left there are the operational engineers and maintenance engineers. Those who were in charge of the construction and installation, they finish their work and they wash off their hands and they move. But that has not been done up till now. So I don't want to belabor that. I believe that those in power know that today everything on record stays on record. We are not fabricating it. It was on record. Cameroonians heard, and we all have been waiting. Nothing has happened. But for things to happen, I am giving an advice. They should go back to the drawing board and check the technocrats who are manning this sector. There should be some reshufflement. People should be held accountable. The state cannot keep continuing investing huge sums of money and milestones are not being realized. That's my point.
Mr. Emmanuel, what is your advice to the local people? Because Menchum division has been for 9 years counting without electricity. Noni has been for God knows when.
And they have never had light.
Never had light. Since we had independence, since unification, yes, Noni has never had light.
Yes.
Now, but this same area has municipal councillors, members of parliament. They are represented in the senatorial district. This same area voted overwhelmingly to President Paul Biya for 2018. They renew his mandate in 2025.
Yes. I expected this question, but that will not go the fact to
So
stop.
What is the advice to the
What
current president?
that will not go the fact to say that, to deny or to give praises to where it is not due. We are going to say the same thing. Leaders, our community leaders, I have always called them, our municipal leaders, I have called them. It is rather, it is, Noni is a special constituency. Noni shares one parliamentary seat with Oko. Noni is a council, Noni is a subdivision. So, we are saying, and I'm not going to exclude Noni because it's where I come from. We voted for President Bobia. It is our civic duty. Politics, presidential election was a game of interest, game of majority. Those who got the majority, go. That one is over. Now we are looking at those who are directly implicated in the development of the councils. Who are they? The local council, the local administrators headed by the mayor. All of us, we know very well that one thing for these people to succeed, it is for the central government to actually disburse the funds. Actually, the 15% that has been promised, that the central administration promises to give to the local administration, it is not a reality per se. And that is why we see them not being able to realize some of these projects to the end. If Noni today, Noni, like many other communities in Cameroon, does not have electricity, does not, Boya, for example, if Boya does not have electricity, Boya is a town. The head, that is, the regional capital does not have electricity. What about Noni in the suburb? I'm not compromising anybody. I'm not compromising anything. And I'm not justifying the absence of lack of energy to the population. This is just to call us to the fact that our local representative, our leaders, it is very certain, without mixing with that, many of them are not accountable, or they are not there for the general public. Because if they are there, if they were there for the general public per se, we shouldn't have had all of this. When they go to the parliament, do we hear them asking questions about such things? For how long? Menchum, you said Menchum has been for 9 years without electricity. Have we heard about that in the National Assembly? Did we hear about that in the Regional Assembly? It is a reflective question to tell you that our local representatives, they really take our plight, the plight of the communities, into consideration. They, at times, they only do that when you need something from the population. And what's that?
Vote.
Possibly. And that is why we are calling
2026 is coming.
2026 is coming, and that is why we are imploring all of us, please, we should vote, we should go for leaders who are going to be accountable. For right now, I don't know if I could be accountable if I'm good, but now, excuse me,
Are you announcing a candidacy?
I am not announcing my candidacy. I'm not vying for any position, please. I'm still there to, I'm still learning. You will see people who are going to come, and then there's another thing that destroys the leadership community. The various political parties, it has become the turn of compensating the old regime. Those people who are old because they've been loyal to the party, they've been this to the party, they've stayed in the party for long. That's why in all the political parties, I don't want to quote an example, in all the political parties, but I don't see myself being loyal to a political party when I cannot contribute something to the development of the community. Let us take leaders who have a project. Tell me one particular leader, community leader, who came up that I am going to head the Douala City Council, for example, because of this particular project. Waste management, for example. Look at Bamenda. Look at Limbe. Look at Boya. Do we have?
Are you even talking about Boyalimbe? Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about that topic today because we actually conclude.
Thank you.
We actually started late.
Yes.
You conclude. We actually started late. I just hope that next week we should focus again on that particular.
And that is why I'm saying that,
because if you are moving to Bonamusadi,
yes,
the road was Sikam. That field.
Yes, exactly.
Because it has been blocked.
It has been blocked.
That major church has been
That is
blocked.
where I passed today. It has been blocked. Well, those are, you will see with us that we build us that we have leaders who do not have a vision. The only thing in their mind is to occupy the position and become Muselo mayor. That is all. Muselo, how do you call it in French? The city mayor. I just feel grand conseiller.
It's for prestigious reasons.
It's for prestigious, because they don't have any project. Because one, if you have a project, and that is why we keep on encouraging the private sector. When you want to become the person who deliver more are those people in the private sector. For example, they give you a particular project to handle. What are you proposing on the bench? What are you proposing? And you should make sure when they talk about project materialization, it's for you to have analyzed, explained, presented with facts and figures that this particular project I'm presenting is going to be realized, and this is the durability.
So
and the
your advice to the people of Cameroon affected, because as we have the people of Noni, the same people in
Kolofata,
you have the
in
same situation in
Mwa.
When we move to Beng, we have the same problem in Beng, we have the same problem in Konye,
wow.
We have the same problem even in the south, you have the same problem across several areas.
Even the center region.
The center region itself is not left out. So your advice is that they should 2026 primary all those people out.
Yeah. Please look at your community. If there's somebody who has been doing well, give him another confidence. If not, there's somebody who has not done anything, who has instead taking the community behind, please let another person come up. And the person coming up should be somebody with a vision, a practical vision that can be realized.
If you are saying this, if you are saying this, many would have argued that which should have also started in the presidential election.
In the presidential election, presidential election is a popular vote, and that one was popular vote. It has been counted, but now
the problem we are having now is not here.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Yeah, it should be a problem. That's democracy. That is democracy. It should be a problem. We are talking about. It is good that we are talking about why it's
keep aside the ministers. Keep aside.
Did I talk about ministers?
I'm saying keep aside the members of parliament who are elected.
Yes.
Keep aside the councillors.
Yes.
Keep aside the mayors. Some of these issues are managed by ministers appointed by the head of state. And some of them have been there for 21 years.
And that is where I wanted to land.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you, I am playing on the head of state. Through the popular voice, the popular cry, you know that there are some ministers he is not supposed to maintain in any cabinet reshufflement, whether tomorrow, after tomorrow, or in any time within a year. They said his reshufflement usually come like Jesus said, the thief will come like in the night. Like, nobody knows. Like when he wants to do his cabinet reshufflement. There are many of them. Okay, there are many. In fact, all of those we're already complaining. For example, I'm not complaining. I'm not going to say that this particular ministry has worked.
Thank you. We are out of time.
Yes, let me finish my statement. I'm not going to say that this particular minister is very incompetent, because if I want to start, we have complained with the transport sector, we have complained with the public work sector. All of these things accumulate to what only the president, because when it comes to ministerial appointment, the president appoint in using his discretion, and we can only hold the president of the republic accountable. We can only employ him to, but those people, we elect them. That is our major point.
Okay, we're out of time.
We hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, fellow panelists, and to my Noni people listening out there. It's been a great pleasure, and I wish you all a happy new year and a prosperous 2026. We should stay blessed. We should stay out of trouble. Stay safe. We should be patriotic and keep working hard. The economy is bad. The economy is hard.
We're out of time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Engineer, thank you for coming. We unfortunately started late.
Mr. Javis, for having me. I think despite the late start, we have tried to give our contribution. Bravo. Let's go out massively and support the Lions today. Give them the courage and the moral booster they need to win the match against Ivory Coast. Merry Xmas and Happy New Year in advance to all our televiewers. Thank you.
And of course, this seemingly is the last Sunday, eh?
It's the last Sunday.
Wow. Thank you for coming, Nick.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and we look forward to dissecting more into this topic, because the energy sector in every country is just like oxygen in the human body. When you don't have oxygen, you will not live as a human being. It's the same like every economy. Where you don't have energy, the economy is doomed. So thank you for having me, and we'll look forward to having more interesting topics to elucidate public interest on energy.
Thank you for coming. We're out of time.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Javis, and we are encouraging the Cameroonians that we should keep on putting pressure on those who are, and there's a sense of responsibility, whether some days ahead a miracle happen. And if I was put in the right position, I could have asked that the leaders you are talking about, who are the leaders?
We're out of time. We're out of time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please, we're out of time. Hopefully next week Sunday we'll start on next week Sunday. No. Please. Thank you. Next week we'll have time. I just believe I'll start on time, because the second topic is something that we really need to handle. It's still a major problem. The second topic is a major problem. Last week we spoke about it and some actions were taken, but the issue is is the action tangible? Is it solution oriented? Engineer Dixon hopefully will be here next week Sunday. This is the last Sunday of this year. Until we meet again, I want to say stay out of trouble. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife Joanne in the United States of America, Agbo Charles in Canada, and all those of you watching us, is that you should stay out of trouble, and God should continue to bless and protect you. The management of My Media Prime TV, the boss and the wife, God should continue to guide and protect you, and the entire staff of My Media Prime TV, viewers of My Media Prime TV who have been viewing House of Commons. I want to seize this opportunity to say thank you for 2025. Thank you for January. Thank you for February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and thank you for this December. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.
I am Express Exchange, leader in money transfers within Cameroon for more than 15 years via my international partners MoneyGram, Western Union, Riyadh Transfer, World Remits, and others. You can send and receive money all over the world. I assist you in all your mobile money transactions and buying of communication credit. You are always welcome to my 300 branches for payment of your ENEO, electricity bills, and your university tuition fees, the payment of school fees, and competitive examination fees for high schools and college via the Campus Money platform. Because your satisfaction is my priority, I assure you an ever-increasing and improved quality service, payments, availability of cash for your transactions. Express Exchange, the #1 in quality service in Cameroon.